Okay, can everybody hear me? Somebody can't hear me? Okay. Okay, so hello everybody. We're here to talk about collaborative coloring with Kotlin. And I'm Talysson. I'm a web developer at CodeMiner42. This is my handle at TalysonOC in Twitter, GitHub, and a lot of other shit I use. And I'm fucking nervous.
And hi, I'm Juliana, but please call me Ju. I work at Talura as an instructor, and I'm also a web developer. And I'm also a co-organizer at Rails Girl Sorocaba and SorocabaJS. This is my username at social media stuff. And speaking at Talura, we have some discounts for you. So if you want to, I don't know, buy a course or something, please speak to me later and we will talk. And then also we have some jobs. So if you, I don't know, have a vocation or do you want to be an instructor or be some freelance with us, so that's this website.
Okay, so first of all, I want to talk about the motivation for this talk. What make us have this idea? So we begin to think, okay, we want to speak at the conf. What is the conf? What is the conf? What does it mean? So the name the conf is the acronym of Code Only and Fun Conference. The idea is that you gotta have fun while working with code, while, sei lá, making stuff with code. I just said sei lá.
So how will the presentation work? I have something different for you. Every 10 minutes, there will be an image on the screen for you to see. Like this one. This is an example of what you see. I expect that none of us know what it is. Does anybody want to guess?
We decided to build something with games, and the first thought that we have is something with a tower defense, with RPG and a lot of stuff, and build it with Unreal and Blueprint, but well, we didn't do this, so that's not the talk.
Yeah, we're not gonna say about that today.
Yeah. And we have this loving path, I don't know, for architecture, so that's the most architecture beautiful that you ever know. Kidding, but...
So we also wanted to talk a little bit about game architecture. So I think, okay, let's gather all the knowledge we have about gaming architecture and talk about it. But turns out we had zero knowledge about gaming architecture, so we just passed this idea.
Yeah, and turn to the code part and the code only part, we get to Kotlin.
Wait a second. It's not the code only part. Kotlin can also be fun. You will see.
Super fun. You will see. So yeah, can be fun, but maybe. And okay, and what's our almighty idea? What's the almighty idea that we have? And we have some points here, and the first point is that we want you to interact with us, to join with us here, and have fun too. So we need something interactive. We need something competitive, because I like to win. I expect you like this too. So we get prizes. So because we have competitive parts, so we get the winners, and we have some prize for you too.
Yeah, we're not sure if we will have prizes because they're stuck in Curitiba, but maybe they'll be here.
Maybe. And well, the first thought we have was a free drawing tool.
And yeah, it turns out it wasn't a very good idea because somebody would do that. We know that. We know you would that, and you do that as well. So nope. Next idea.
Yeah. So what is actual idea? Not the almighty one, but the actual idea that we have. And we need to do something hard to be shown by you guys, because yeah, we don't have any big guy here. And we get inspired by an idea.
So there's a website called Reddit. There's anyone here that doesn't know Reddit? Oh, a lot of people know. Oh, I had a joke about that, but okay, let's move on. So Reddit is an online forum that a lot of subdivisions call it subreddits, and I don't know, people talk a lot about a lot of things there.
Yeah, and 2 years ago they have our place, a place that's a creative name, right? And that's this stuff. There's a canvas when we can draw things with a pixel, The cooldown is about 10 minutes, I guess, this canvas. And you can put your blocks here and draw stuff with people. That's our experience. And that's the final draw.
Yeah, as you can see, people have a lot of free time. So the idea is that you take 10 minutes to make another pixel and people draw this.
Yeah, and there's a League of Legends logo here too.
Yeah.
So what about the competition part? Because, well, that's only draw, right? But you can put your blocks above the other blocks. So there's the competition part. And that's a Brazilian and Argentina, and I forgot Finland, I guess, and flags that they are fighting against, like, oh, we need our flags too, and in the end they have some, I don't know, hearts here and that stuff.
The idea is that you can't put a block over someone else's block, so you can screw over someone's drawing.
Yeah. So let's run the app.
Yeah, we're gonna show the app first, and we're gonna make it run over there, I guess. So you can interact with that during the talk.
Yeah, so that's the link here and the QR code, so you can use during the talk and see the results here. And we will do this here, and let's the app here too. So what's the rules? First thing, when you enter the website, you have your nickname.
If you can put your nickname, but if you have a creative parent like mine, you can put your first name too.
Yeah, because his name is Talysson, so. And we have 30 seconds because 10 minutes is a lot of time for 2 days. So you can put some blocks here and 30 seconds, and you can put other block.
Please try don't cheat, because we're actually, I'm not kidding, we're actually testing in prod here. But if you're able to break it somehow, that's cool. Just tell us, because we want to fix it. Oh, I can see that a lot of people interact with that as well. We didn't expect that. But yeah, if you break it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so call us later. Socialize with people, please. That's the most important part of this experience. And talk with each other and we draw together. So yeah. And
yeah, that's a kind of fun part. Yeah, we didn't have time to implement, not just the time, but we didn't have a good idea to make it faster to everyone to use it, so we didn't implement logout. If you want to log out or change your username or something like that, that's not even showing in the app, you just clean the cookies off your browser. We know that you can do that.
Yeah, so please don't leave. And don't be that guy, please.
If you see someone drawing a dick pic, just screw over their drawing.
So, yeah. And get the prize. So we really have prize. We will get the prize tomorrow, but we will explain later better. Okay, so
Kotlin, remember that language I promised I would talk about? Okay, let's talk about it finally. Okay, so we had a crazy, let's call it that way, idea that why don't we use Kotlin everywhere? Why don't we put Kotlin on the server and on the front end?
Crazy idea, not good.
Yeah,
Listen.
Remember that. I never said it was a good idea.
Yeah, that's crazy, but not good. So the first thing here is the challenge for us, because, well, I didn't know anything about Kotlin when I started this, and now I like Kotlin, kind of.
And we also wanted to test the performance of the new coroutines API that's from Kotlin 2.1, I guess. So the idea is that we want to try to avoid all the other performance bottlenecks and want to try to focus on the performance of that while we develop the app.
Yeah, and for me, the most important thing is the React Kotlin, because we are testing this thing here, and Kotlin converts to JavaScript, so we can just wrap this in a React framework here, and we need to test if it's ready for production or don't. Okay. So, well, what could go wrong, right?
Okay, so please don't forget that the importance to participate. So if something goes wrong in this talk,
yeah,
just applause in the rain.
Yeah, please. Okay.
Okay, so let's go back to Kotlin. I know I went too far away from the subject, so I'm going to try to convince you that Kotlin is a cool language. So every time someone asks me, why do you think Kotlin is cool? So the best explanation I can find is that Kotlin is what Java should have been from the beginning. All the ideas that worked well with Kotlin, with Java, but were too verbose or too complex, or I don't know, it was kind of weird. It was solved on Kotlin. I'm a huge fan of JavaScript, and sometimes I kind of wonder why isn't JavaScript more like Kotlin.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a multi-paradigm language, so you can really have some, I don't know, functional approaches on the language, not just hacks like people do on Ruby, and stuff like that. And so it has lambdas. There are actual lambdas. You can call them properly. It has type inference, so you don't need to declare the type of a variable if you already assigning the value to that. It has extensions that is kind of similar to MonkeyPatch, but they are scoped, so you won't, I don't know, screw over all your app. If you create a MonkeyPatch, it's just gonna happen where you import it. And most important of all, it has coroutine, so you can have concurrent and background code running. It's way lighter than threads, and you're also able to get the return of that, and it also works more nicely than async await from JavaScript or C#.
Yeah, sadly.
So let's talk about the performance of that. Actually, first of all, let's be real. We web developers love to pretend that we need a lot of performance. We don't need that. Most of Ruby on Rails developers know that. Yeah, we won't need it. Okay, but what if we need? Let's pretend we're Google, we're Twitter, we're Facebook, and we actually need a really good performance for our web app. What would we use? So I began to research what I would use for a synchro web server with Kotlin. And I got to this guy, the HTTP4K, and turns out I wasted a lot of time playing with that to end up discovering it doesn't support coroutine, so nope. Next idea. And I ended up knowing this guy. It's called Cater. It's a web framework for Kotlin. It has coroutine support from the beginning. And yay, it worked for us. It was really easy to use. It was similar to Sinatra for Ruby or Express for JavaScript, so that was our choice.
Okay, so what about the front end? And well, we wanted more. We have Kotlin and the full stack, so we need to use React Kotlin. Well, we like the React a lot, so why not? And we have this Create React Kotlin app. So that's the part who convinced me to do this talk, I guess, because it's very easy to do any setup here, and we didn't do anything actually. And we have some lib like a CSS in JS for Kotlin, but the name is CSS in JS. Don't ask me.
If you already think that CSS in JS is a bad idea, think about CSS in Kotlin.
Yeah, but CSS in JS for Kotlin, not only CSS in Kotlin. And that's the syntax here.
Just a small disclaimer, we're not going to focus totally on the code, so we're going to pass over the code parts. You can see that on the slides later.
Yeah, and we'll do this code open. So if anything have to talk with us about this later, that's okay. And we have typed CSS too, so that's kind of cheating, I guess, because this is a known part, so we have a lot of things, and we don't need to, I don't know, worry about some things with CSS.
Yeah, remember when you can't remember if the property you're trying to use has a dash or doesn't have a dash? This solves the problem.
So how we really did it? Oh, hold my beer. We're going to do a real-time app with Kotlin the whole stack. So first, we need a real-time app because we need you to interact with us, and we need you to know when other people paint the block here.
I can see a lot of people are pointing black blocks. Don't do that.
Or do, I don't know.
Or do, I don't care.
Yeah. So for this, we need WebSockets.
So WebSockets is a technology that allows live communication between front end and the back end, and it's not a request response model, so you can send messages for the back end, and the back end can send message to you anytime it wants. It's present in all the modern browsers nowadays, so thank you, W3C. And yeah, the good idea is that Cater already had native support to WebSockets. It was really easy. And you just need to declare, so the WebSocket part and the routing part, it's very, very easy.
And WebSockets works with messages, so we have 3 types of messages in this app. We have the current state app, the authenticate, and the paint. And remember that we don't wait for anything, so we send a message, and I know the backend can never respond our message or respond like it's separate things here. About persistence, we thought a lot about this, and we have some points here too. So we didn't do any inserts on the canvas. We just update the cells in the database. We read all cells every time. So every time that we show the canvas for you, we will read all the cells. And we insert only when a painter shows up. So I told you that we never insert, but we insert here. When you sign in for the first time, we will insert you in the database, obviously. And we need the minimum log possible here, because we need to focus on the performance about the coroutine stuff and the Kotlin stuff, not the database. So, yeah.
So after all these points and a lot of Googling and talking to a lot of colleagues, I ended up checking Redis. It had all the things that we needed. We have to hack it a little bit, but that was the idea. So how does Redis work? Redis have a problem that it can't read more than 1 hash at a time. And I was thinking, what can I do to hack that? It won't stop me. So I remember Kotlin has a way to run a lot of parallel processing at the same time. And then I can just wait for all of them using the coroutine. So yep, I tried that. I'm not sure if it's a good idea. I'm not sure if it's performant, but whatever. That's the fun part. So we just hacked Redis approach, like trying to send a lot of requests at the same time for all the whole canvas and read it all of them at the same time. So for those that don't know, Redis is a key value database. You can consider it like I don't know, a 2 rows table where the key is always a string and the value can be almost anything. And you can use hashes like the value, so we use that. And yeah, that's what we did to fetch more than 1 at a time.
So okay, and in the beginning, front connects in the WebSocket is like this. We just put the WebSocket here, and we receive the current status. So we are listening for messages, and the first message that we got is the current status. So React is amazing, and we just put this in the stage and do a map about the cells and just put it in the state, React all the stuff. So you, the painter appears, a wild painter appears.
So the backends will see, hey, I got a new painter here. So it's gonna get the current canvas, and it gotta get the all of them at the same time, as I said, and send it to the front end.
Yeah, and click a cell. So when you click a cell, we update the select color that you clicked here, and then it's super effective. You can put your cells here, but we send a paint message to the backend here, and we didn't, I don't know, wait for anything, but that's the way. We handle the click, and we just send a message. The double S send here. And then we update select color.
And so the front end sends the paint message. The back end is going to receive that, and it's going to go through a function that we built. It's going to first take all the data that the user sent, like I click on this row and this cell with this color, and also sends the painter ID that's on the session. And before painting and sending it to everybody, it's going to check if the painter can paint. So check if the cooldowns already passed.
So that's the cheating part that you can do.
Yeah, I hope one of you break that. And after it checks that everything's okay, it can be painted, it will update Redis. It's going to update that cell, just that cell, and then update the last time that painter painted something. That's how we did it. And then we send the message to everyone, including the one that painted. We initially thought about using optimistic model where we click it and then we already color for the painter that clicked it, and then after broadcast to the rest of the painters. But it would be suboptimal to the idea we had initially, that was to, I don't know, to make it reliable to make it consistent to everyone, so we didn't go with this approach. We just send it to everyone, and we follow the fire and forget approach. I send that message, I don't care about that message anymore, and just expect for any time somewhere, and sometime I'm going to receive a message back.
And when we receive that message, we will update the page. Yeah, we send the page, and okay, when we update the page, what happened? So here we have this updated add function, and when and this is listening, this is inside the listener for messages. So when we receive the pent message, then we call this function here. And that's the good part.
Yeah, that was the good part. I know we passed really fast from the code, but the focus is on this side. Don't care about the slides.
Yeah, we are just testing this in production, and it's fun, I guess. So let's talk about what we learned about this code here.
About this crazy adventure.
Yeah, crazy. So let's talk about the
She's very excited about it.
Yeah, super excited about it. So React Kotlin is always behind React. And we have a hook in prod, I guess, from March, I guess. But we started coding this in July, and we didn't have hooks yet. So we don't use hooks here. Those are released, I guess, 2-3 weeks ago in the React Kotlin. So with our, I don't know, 6 months. I'm very bad at this counts, but I don't know, a lot of months here. And docs are horrible. I guess that's the worst part ever. I mean, that's really hard. That's all the Kotlin extensions doc. It's like how do you install the code. And the Kotlin Mocha and the Kotlin Rectdom, we don't have any docs. Yeah, pattern here, right? So the docs is very, very bad, and sometimes we didn't have any docs. Stack Overflow, man, no one uses React Kotlin, right? So we don't have any doubts about it. And we have IntelliJ here. Actually, IntelliJ is very cool. It's a very cool code editor, but to work with things in the front end is kind of, I don't know, a pleasure, I guess, because it's a lot of things that we put in the IntelliJ hands because we don't have any docs. So, okay, the types works, the types helps a lot because we can do and see the things in the types. But still, IntelliJ is, I don't know, it's heavy and it's hard to be controlled by the front end. JSX and CSS is a crazy syntax. I will show you some stuff. And what affects that plus sign here? Because we have a button here, and to do text, we need to put a plus sign in the front of the text. It doesn't make any sense. I guess it can be anything. It can be, I don't know, text here, but it's a plus sign. And passing props to other components, we call this function here as a builder. So when we make our component, we build here, and here we are building the palette code, and we are declaring the types and all this kind of stuff in the props here, and passing the address, and that's okay, fine. But we will repeat this in the interface palette props here. Is this exactly code? Exactly code here. Oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing here. Okay, here. And the exactly code here and here, we just repeat the code. And that's the way we use it in the onClick function, the way we called it in the children. But in the further, we need to pass this way, because we need to pass a function that calls another function is kind of, I don't know, crazy, I guess. But that's okay. Webpack Kotlin needs a lot of memory to build.
Yeah, as the code for this app was growing and growing, the build was taking more time on the front end, not the back end, more time and more memory. The last build I did, I had to increase the Java heap size for around 4 gigabytes to be able to build it, and it's not a huge app, so you can see it really eats a lot of memory. I don't know who thought that would be a good idea to mix Webpack with JVM, but whoops, they did it.
This are some cool too, because setup's very cool. We don't do anything in setup, we just npm create React Kotlin app and did it. It works, and the NP part is kind of cool too. I know the build part is bad, But it's cool to use something with npm in the Kotlin. I don't know, it's crazy, and I like it. Okay.
So for the backend, the story was a little less sadder. It was actually cool. I liked it. So the first thing is that the Java compatibility promises really paid off. So I needed some libs during the development of that, and I didn't have that built in for Kotlin, but I have a lot of them for Java, and it was just compatible. I didn't have to do anything special. I just imported that, added to the Gradle file, and worked it. The Java community is awesome. I know some people love to make fun about Java. I do that too, but it's a very consistent community. It has a lot of cool stuff, and the good thing is that the Kotlin community cares about it and tries to make it the max compatible possible. And I don't know, to make it work for everybody. You can use, even write code in Kotlin using your Java code, not the other way, not just the other way around. The performance seems to be okay. As I said, we're testing in prod here, so it's running.
Yeah.
I see that they built a chess board here. I'm not sure if that's intended. It's probably just 2 people doing that. But anyway, I like it. The Gradle or Gradle W, I never know that. I bet Java people also don't know that. But it really worked well with Kotlin as well. It was easy to set up the build of the backend, add stuff, add dependencies, and make it work on Heroku. It was really, really like a breeze.
It's hard to beat tasks in Gradle. We don't know how to do this, right?
Wasn't very easy, but
yeah, but that's okay.
What can I do?
So some conclusions here about what we learned. Kotlin is cool. I started with some vision, but Kotlin is very cool actually. Kotlin, not React Kotlin, listen well, but this is cool.
Okay, so we learned a lot about it, including that take care what we're gonna do, and we also learned how to navigate through Kotlin.js code base and how stuff works without documentation.
And we also learned how to prioritize things here, because if you see the Trello board, well, there's a lot of things that we need to do and we want to do at this canvas, but well, that's the canvas now. So we don't have logout, we don't have a lot of things here. But that's okay. We learned a lot of this too. Take real care in choosing your tech stack for production, because we are building this, but for, I don't know, a talk, that's okay. But for production is different, so read the docs and take care what you do and what you choose.
And I don't know, I think it's the most important part. Please play that thing. You can do a lot of stuff. I can see that there's a, I don't know, it's
something.
I hope, yeah, I don't know what to say about that, but I'm hoping that I don't know, people are socializing or at least cooperating without talking to each other to make the chat thing or colorful thing. Anyway.
Yeah. And about the play thing, so some rules here for the winning prize and the prize, that's important too. The first rule here is the winner is the one who gets the color in the end. So we will see the colors, the panthers, in the canvas in the end tomorrow, in the end of the event. So I don't know the time exactly, we'll say later, but we will get the prize tomorrow. And the prize, we have free access to Alura courses, so for 3 months. So if any for you needs or want to do course with us. And we have a shirt, a t-shirt actually, Alura too. And we have a voucher for beers and tomorrow in the happy hour. And that's the 3 prize for first, second, and third winners.
Yep.
Okay. And
okay, so after all of that, looks like we was way faster than we were expecting.
Yeah.
Last time we trained, we break the time, and now there's 16 minutes as well.
We jumped the code, so
I'm not
that's okay.
sure if we should challenge you to draw something, or maybe you just draw random stuff. But anyway, thank you everybody. Sorry for not implementing logout. What can I do? And that's it.
Yeah, so thanks.